Good morning. I'm Dr. Paul Jones. I'm going to talk to you today about how I think you can succeed in dentistry and in life. This is my cell phone and my email. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me either way. Text me, call me, email me. All right, about my bio. I grew up on a farm 70 miles south of Lincoln, Nebraska, just into Kansas. Went to a one-room country school for my first and second year grades. I about flunked out of college in the 60s, but then I met my first wife and she straightened me around. I got into UMKC and got a DDS in 1974. I actually practiced general dentistry in Lawrence for a couple of years and then did my endo training at Nebraska and got out in 78. This is the one-room country school that I attended. We had a pump well out front for drinking water, outhouses in the back, and a wood-burning stove inside for heat. So how things have changed. Ours was the first class to go all 4 years in the new dental school at UMKC. This is the anatomy class. Before, we did not dissect. We used mannequins, and we were the first class to do that as well. So after getting my MS and my certificate in endo, I practiced in the Kansas City area for over 35 years. I was a geek, an early adopter. I was one of the first in town to use computers in the office, digital x-rays, and cone beam CT. Hopefully you guys are using cone beam. It's an amazing tool. Do you guys have it? Okay. Anyway, another one of my infamous things I did was I took a year off in mid-career and lived aboard a sailboat in the Caribbean with my family and sailed from Florida to Trinidad off the coast of South America and back. I wrote a book about it. It's called Farm to Ocean, a memoir, and it's available on Amazon. I retired 10 years ago. I continued to travel and sail. I got my captain's license, started a charter business. I ended up selling it and moved back to Kansas City, but this is the website. So the year-long trip started with my older daughter. She was my surrogate son. This is our first sailboat on a lake in Kansas. And when she was about to graduate to high school, she said, "Dad, why don't you take a year off and we'll sail around the world?" Turns out when she got out of college, timing was better, and so we did it. This is my book. It's available on Amazon. That's a link to it. So if you're interested in sailing or traveling and how I managed to take time off, check it out. So this is generally the route that we took. On the way down, we went directly from Miami to the east coast of Puerto Rico, and then island hopped all the way down to Trinidad and then back. This was the boat that we used. It's an Island Packet 45. All right, so let's get back to talking about the subject at hand. I'm not an attorney or an accountant or a practice management consultant or a marketing expert. I seek advice from those who are. I've been out of clinical practice for over a decade. I occasionally read articles or some of the AAE cases that are available online, but they don't depend on me. And realize that change is the only thing you can count on happening. When I was in dental school, I was taught to place silver points, and obviously things have changed since then. And again, I'm not an attorney. This isn't legal advice or clinical advice, but hopefully you'll find some pearls. So I want to talk about cultivating professionalism, how you can continue to develop your clinical skills and knowledge, learning about communication and practice management, and then how to build a successful dental practice, and through all this maintaining a work-life balance. So as far as professionalism, honesty is the best policy. That's what my mother always taught me. I've always believed that is the way to go. I haven't always achieved it, but I've done my very best to try. It's kind of been what I've been working towards. So the ADA has got an article online about their code of ethics. Go ahead and read it. I think you are required to take classes in ethics now. Treat other practitioners as colleagues, not competitors. That's a good way to do. Treat all your patients as if they were honored guests in your home. They are the most important person in your practice. I always stress to my staff that that's what we did. And then I also tried to learn to treat my staff as the valuable assets they are. And I also tried to admit when I made a mistake and tried to learn from it. So I recommend that you take more continuing education than the state requires. You should read everything you can. Find some time every day to read journals online now and other subjects. A century and a half ago, Mark Twain said, "Those who don't read have no advantage over those who can't." Now, granted, back in the day, there were a lot more people who couldn't read, but still, you don't want to have yourself back in the 19th century. Consider teaching part-time. I found that when I did, I would learn more by teaching, or as much by teaching than I would by studying. Stay informed about the new techniques and technology, but don't be the first nor the last to adopt the latest and the greatest. Go to dental meetings. Don't just go to the parties and the dinners. Attend the lectures, visit the exhibits, take the hands-on classes. Join online or in-person study clubs. I assume they still have those. They're a valuable way to not only learn, but also to market your practice. You can also learn from your dental supply representative. They're not just a salesman. They know what they're talking about most of the time. But you should understand how to evaluate research techniques and materials. I assume that's what you're learning here as you're reading all these papers. As you know, some papers and research projects are better than others. Communication is an important part. Learn how to effectively communicate both with your patients and your referring doctors. Address patients' concerns and expectations by both written and oral descriptions of what you're going to do in language they can understand. Manage difficult patients and situations. Think of it as challenges, not just a problem. So there are several strategies for attracting and retaining referrals. You can market both online and in person. I'm not up on the latest and greatest. I don't have a TikTok channel, but I did have a good web page back in the day, and I think that's essential. It's amazing how some practices don't. As far as gifts to referrals, if you don't know them personally, sometimes if you'll ask your staff to ask their staff what it is that they would like for Christmas or Hanukkah. You should have phone calls, texts, emails, written notes to your referring doctors. I'm not sure that your text or your emails are HIPAA compliant. I assume there's a way now through your webpage that you can do that. Praise the referring dentist to their patients if at all possible. And then also, if you get a patient who doesn't have a dentist, refer them to your referring dentists or the specialists that you utilize. And the same way with teaching, you can give lectures in your office. You can have guest speakers or give them yourself and share the knowledge, and that's a way to market your practice. Now, it's also business. Dentistry is a business, and you need to understand the business aspects of it. You need to understand the numbers, know how to run the reports in QuickBooks and know what they mean, look for trends, study and understand the tax laws. They're constantly changing. You need to find and use a good accountant and attorney. If you're new to the community, ask some of the more senior practitioners, referring doctors, who they use, interview them, see if there's a connection, and see if they communicate well with you. Ask them questions until you understand what the numbers mean, what the laws are, and then develop a strong team, a strong staff, and delegate all that is legal as much as possible I knew practitioners who took all their own x-rays, pre and post-ops, just did a bunch of stuff that they could legally and effectively delegate. Now, you need to be sure that your staff is trained and they know how to take the x-rays and the cone beams and whatever else, but utilize your staff. You're only making as much as you're paying them if you're doing their job. So the ADA has what they call Practice Update Clinical Dentistry Channel. You can sign on. It's available 24/7. It's a way to keep current with journals, news, educational resources, and so check it out. Here's a link. They've got other resources on practice management, finances, risk management, how to manage your staff, the business of dentistry, and patients. So utilize this resource. I did not check for the Perio Association, but I did on the AAE website. They have various useful resources: starting a practice, understanding employment contracts, becoming an associate, and so check it out. Another thing that the ADA has is a wellness resource. It's support for mental health, physical health, ergonomics,